Hi, I have been on a little bit of a painting streak, and so I thought that I would show you everything I painted last week with my gouache. I started the week with some color palettes, and the reason that I made these color wheels was I have heard from other artists like Tom Froese and Stephanie Pfizer Coleman are two that come to mind right away, that they have found a lot of success with working in a minimal color palette, at least for little chunks of time or small seasons. And so in each of these wheels, I'm using 3 different primaries to see what limited palette I like the best. In these ones, I'm testing both flame red and yellow ochre, but the blues changed. And so this one on the left, I was testing a primary cyan, and on the right, I was testing a Prussian blue. Down here, these wheels are each the same as the one above it, but they've been boosted with an additional emerald green to help brighten up those mixes down here. And so this was a really great exercise because it let me see, the range of values I can really get, or the range of hues I can get with these different primaries that I chose. And I did end up choosing this one. So everything that you'll see from this point forward was painted using some mix from this palette here of flame red, yellow ochre, and primary cyan. And I just have to say that it's something that served me so well. I'll talk about it as I move through the pages. But so this was one day and this was another. On this page, I really wanted to practice just drawing or creating illustrations with gouache in the way that I do it digitally. I find that my digital work comes together a lot more easily, and then when I start painting, I really overcomplicate things. And so you can see I've got my limited palette at the top that was mixed from my primaries, and I went to different illustrations that I already have in my portfolio and picked out motifs that I could paint just for the practice of it. And this was really enlightening. It really helped me see that usually when I get to painting, I just kind of freak out and start doing things without thinking. And instead, if I slow down and am really thoughtful about my decisions, I really appreciate more simple marks and being thoughtful with where the brush is being put down. Okay. I'm so thrilled. These mark the beginning of something new for me, which is not sketching before painting. I think I did, I can't remember now, but I'm pretty sure that I sketched these before painting them, at least a little bit. But these I didn't. I just went in with my brush and I didn't worry that, one horse's leg was huge and the other one was tiny. I didn't worry if their faces got a little silly or a little wonky. And in fact, when I was painting this one, I was so embarrassed by how chunky and weird the brush got. And now, she's my favorite. She's so endearing to me. And so this was just really exciting to remind myself, just because I'm using paint, I am allowed to still keep my palettes minimal and use bright colors in a way that's really exciting to me. This next day was really more a test of values and contrast. I wanted to see if I had a preference between having the most contrast between the details and the figure. So here the darkest value is on the lightest value, which is the figure. Or if I liked there being more contrast between the ground and the figure. So in this case, the figure has the lightest color and the ground has the darkest value, and then kind of a mid-tone on top. I won't lie, I didn't draw any great conclusions from this, except that I just really love these cows. I think they're so cute. And again, I had to loosen up and not be perfect, and certainly not sketch first in order for them to turn out like this. This page was fun because I thought I ruined it a few times. I felt like I was getting out of control. I slipped back into my old ways of just kind of getting possessed by the brush and just kind of letting everything explode. But I took my time and painted over things. At one point, these blue flowers were like a corally pink, and it just really wasn't working for me. And so I calmed down, I let things dry, and I rethought the colors, and I'm much happier with the bolder palette. I also made sure to let things dry so that I could get really nice, neat little details like I have here, which is something I've struggled with in the past, with just kind of overworking and being a little bit impatient. So this page definitely felt like a triumph, especially after the days before where I was using a really limited palette. This felt really exciting. And lastly, I've got my little armadillos. These were inspired by both a song by Miranda Lambert called Armadillo, and also Casey Musgraves just put out a cover by Hank Williams, and the album cover had armadillos on it. And again, I was so excited about these horses that I painted and the cow that I really wanted to challenge myself to take on an animal that I had never painted before, whose shape wasn't as familiar to me. And I'm so thrilled with how they turned out. Again, I felt like I really balanced being loose and letting kind of the natural imperfections come out during the painting, while also being thoughtful and not overworking and not adding extraneous details or values that didn't need to be there. So that is my last week in painting.